K&C Masterpiece right here on 105.3 The Fan right now, brought to you by your North Texas Ford dealers. Ford, built for Texas, built for you. It is Dallas Cowboys owner and general manager Jerry Jones. Good morning, sir.
Hey, good morning. How you guys doing today? And good to be on with you.
We're good. We're good. And inquiring minds want to know, who were you rooting for in last night's Thursday night football game?
Well, I think it's according to who had the ball. And candidly, as to our advantage, I've got still a little Jason Garrett affinity in me as well, and will always have. And so you got to root there. But by the same token, when I look at our division and look at how we're going to play, Philadelphia looks like a sleeping, I'm not going to say giant, but they look like a sleeping threat, but not sleepy after that comeback win and a great job by their quarterback. So, on hindsight, we might have been better off long range with long range being this year with the giant win, but I'll take it. That we all know that it's up to what we can do, always has been, not so much about what they're doing. But, when I look at the state of where we are right now, I look and several things come to my mind. We probably won't have Zach Martin Sunday, and probably will not have him. When we do, we're going to, if we don't have him, we're going to be playing with about 60% of our salary cap dollars Sunday. About 60%.
Wow.
We will. That's what's out on the field. And in the case of the tackles, in the case of your quarterback, and in the case of Martin, those are challenges for us. Other teams having them, you bet. The second thing I'd like to point out is if, as you well know, we handicap new coaching in this league. When a new coach comes in, we give him extra weeks with the team. We always do, extra days, maybe as much as 10 days, 2 weeks of solid practice. And then we, of course, count on, as we always should, a complete training camp, spring training, and then go on into the season with a preparation. If you look at all the new coaches in this league this year, they're rocking along at an average of about 20% wins. And those are the new guys that came in with their new group, made up of free agents as well as the players that were there of the teams that they took over. And so our knowledge of our game knows that it's always better if a new coach can spend some time with his team. So we're dealing with that, and I say this because when I look at our season and I see, is there help on the way relative to evening up this ratio of available players? And yes, I do see help on the way. I see players coming. I see Zach coming. But I see players coming. Do I see time spent with your players by your coaching staff improving dramatically over the weeks ahead relative to everybody else? Yes, I do. I certainly do see that right there. And so that I also see something that, frankly, I don't know how to get succinct in pointing the finger, but I believe it's possible to play games without those early turnovers in those games. I think that's not unrealistic to think we can play without those turnovers. This is not Excuse City this morning at all. I know I'm starting this way. But I'm just pointing at some things when I look at this team, how we can be better, really against Washington, how we can be better in the future.
And Jerry, last week you did kind of tell us, you said, we have to adjust our expectations for this. And when you see Philadelphia, I know they won, but they struggled against the Giants last night. Does it make you feel like winning the division is still possible, and is that still the goal for this Cowboys team?
It's definitely the goal. The goal really is to get better on the first possession of the game, and then to get better have our defense play better in its first time out on the field. And they did the other day, in my mind, early. Can we get better? Yes, we can, and we will. Can we get better offensively? We've got challenges. Of all the times that I think our fans could understand that the value of watching before your eyes, adjusting on the run, is during these COVID times. We're doing it in this country. We're doing it in our individually first and foremost, and families and people are having to adjust and stay home to teach their children rather than work, and the bills that have to work there. We're doing all of that. Well, I've always thought that football had some measure, without making it more than it is, of a reflection about what we're dealing with in general. And our team does have a lot to overcome that we hadn't planned on, but everybody else does too right now. But the vision here, or the look-see here, is can we adjust on the series, on the quarter, or by the game? Can we do it? And can we do it, relatively speaking, with a little hand behind your back? Others have the same thing. Well, that's always been the beauty of the game, and it's what it is. It's what it is. And but I think that we're in a position, we're approaching it right. We've got a coach out here that's a proven Super Bowl coach. He is proven. He's there. Have I ever had coaches that came in that ultimately had great success that lost early? Of course I have. And so there's no need of really, there's a need to specifically decide what you're going to run, a base defense or a base a way to attack a shaky offensive with a shaky offensive line. But as far as looking and saying, woe is me, no, it's time to go to work and get better by the day.
Boy, Jerry, what you just said there kind of took my question away a little bit. I'm still going to ask it is, Kellen Moore has to have a huge challenge here because of the offensive line. Babe Laufenberg was on 105.3 The Fan earlier this week and said, look, CeeDee Lamb's been awesome at deep crosses. You can't run that play anymore with this offensive line as it is right now. So how tough will it be to put together an offensive game plan knowing that you're probably not going to have the same amount of time to throw the football?
Are you kidding me? It's tough, but that's what these guys do. As the coach said, that's what I do. That's what they do. They get up in the morning and they go to bed at night thinking about how to make an adjustment like that. That's what they're expected to do, and they know they're expected to do it. And Kellen Moore really is very competent. But what really is special, which is some of the things that I see about Mike McCarthy and his involvement in the offense and what he's doing. Mike McCarthy jumped on the table when he walked through the door to have the chance to keep Kellen Moore. Nobody ever said keep Kellen Moore. He jumped on the table. He'd been following him, and he wanted him to be there with him. But make no mistake about it, we're going to get all of Mike McCarthy in every route and every block we make. And it just doesn't work like that, folks. And you can, logic tells you that. And so does he have the energy and the time to be there to have his fingerprint on it every step of the way? Of course he does. He's the head coach. And so we're getting the benefit of that, and that will, that in my mind will pay off. We're very, very confident. I've had to have some patience before in coaches. Look how Jimmy Johnson came in here.
With all that in mind and a lot of positivity about Mike McCarthy, I was curious, were you bothered not by the anonymous report from a player or players earlier this week? Were you bothered by the content of them saying the coaching staff was totally unprepared and they aren't good at their jobs?
It actually, I'm trying to give a comparable or a something that I thought, but not in the very least. It is get in line in terms of if you look at the time and the years and the months and the weeks of people making, frankly, very anonymous innuendos into a situation that's right for it. Now think about that a minute. Can't say who it was, but it's right for it. The criticism is that our guys might not know what they're doing out there, and you put one of those innuendos. It no more reflects the thinking of our players then it reflects the thinking of something going on in the Kremlin. It is just absolutely irrelevant and very, very, very irresponsible relative to these times. And now, that's what. Don't think that Mike McCarthy isn't a big boy and got big shoulders and can't handle anything they want to throw at him. Mm-hmm. He's been to school on that and had it. That's one of the reasons I wanted him here, is because it hadn't just been success for him. He's dealt with both those imposters, the success imposter and the failure imposter, and he's done well with it.
So it doesn't make you question coaching. Does it make you question some of the players in the locker room then?
It doesn't add to anything. It doesn't add to anything. It doesn't make me do anything other than almost smirk. Did you think it has any credibility? Think about it. Do you really think it has any credibility?
I can see how Jerry, how you're right. It's right for the picking, right?
I really think that those words that come out your mouth and you can't say who gave you the information has any credibility? Think about it. It has none. Certainly not if you're sitting here trying to make a decision on it. It might be news fodder to roll out around here and entertain me and others. But if it were going towards someone that had something that, I might need to think about that. You mean my coach might not know what he's doing? Do you think that has any credibility to me, what somebody wrote anonymously?
From the reporter, I think that's credible, yes.
Credible what?
The reporter is a credible reporter.
Creditable what?
We trust the person who said it, I think.
Hey, you're so full of it.
Okay.
I mean it. To say that, get it on out there, reporter, and say who said it.
Jerry.
Get with it. If you want to influence something, is the reporter trying to influence me?
I don't know.
Of course not. Of course not. But that's. But seriously, guys, because it is so irresponsible, we're wasting some good time. But my goodness, if I'd spent my life making decisions based upon some innuendo or something that I read in the paper, I'd be a sick puppy.
Jerry, with this team and kind of the way you're looking at it, would you be more likely to trade away pieces of the roster or try to add something to this current roster to get this season going?
More likely to add. More likely to add. Sometimes when you're looking at them, you add by trading, but we're before the trade deadline. And in good or bad times, are you thinking that in terms of looking at our base, what we have at base, relative to have how many strong left tackles do you want to trade for, and give the kind of consideration to get a good left or right tackle when you got Lyle Collins and Smith coming back? How much you want to give for that? You don't.
Yeah. So what are there any other areas of like maybe defense or anything like that you would be considering adding to this roster?
Specifically, no.
Okay.
Generally, I've eyes wide open.
Well, Jerry, how about Randy Gregory? How much of an impact can he make quickly for this team?
Well, my eye is on Randy Gregory's individual accomplishment here. It's been quite a road for him. It's a long way from over, but it's been quite a road for him. He's got this great opportunity in his life to rehab everything about it, but it's hard and would be. But he is an outstanding football player. He's actually, in terms of his makeup, unbelievably is complemented with great intelligence as well as great athletic ability, and we've talked about that. The player we had him when he was coming out, we had him as the the best pass rusher in our opinion. In our opinion at the time, we had him the best pass rusher in the draft. So he has a chance to be something. He's been here quite some time. He's added strength. He's added some substance, which he was always there. He came out about 245, 240, something maybe in that range. My goodness, those guys come from that weight, and they come up, get a little bulk to them, and they become important contributors to a defense. But he should contribute. I don't have to oversell him here, but I'm glad to see him on the field.
Well, we appreciate having you on every single week, and we love nothing better than watching Washington lose. So if y'all could get that done on Sunday, it'd be fantastic, sir.
Nate Newton said it the best almost 30 years ago. Let's go up there and give them some capital punishment.
Nice. Thank you very much, sir.
Bye, Jerry.
See you, guys.